Well, good morning, everyone. Mark Ghilarducci, Director of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. Welcome to OES headquarters, and kind of an exciting day when we get an opportunity to recognize the great work that our Listos program has done and the work that our fire safe councils are doing. Truly an effort that is needed in a state that is obviously so disaster prone, and specifically in the area of wildfire. The work that the Fire Safe Council does and the trailer you see behind me, the resources that are coming together, working in communities to be able to build a safe environment from wildfire, defensible space and vegetation management and evacuation planning, community awareness. These are all critical functions that the Fire Safe Council and the Listos program in California coming together, leveraging the resources, the funding, and the capabilities to get communities ready to go. We unfortunately have seen the devastation from wildfires year in and year out. Unfortunately, this year appears to be lining up for another very critical, very challenging wildfire season. And so time is of the essence with regards to the work that the Fire Safe Councils are doing. Our team at OES, our partners in the various local government fire agencies, in CAL FIRE, our U.S. Forest Service partners, and the work of Listos penetrating into the communities to be able to get people prepared. So I'm very excited about today, very appreciative of all you being here. I want to congratulate the work that has been done in this particular area with the Listos team, with our Fire Safe Council, and I know that the work that they do will have a great impact in saving lives and property. So with that, thank you very much. I think I'm going to turn it over to Josh Friday, our Director, our Chief Service Officer for the state of California. Josh.
Thanks, Director. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Director. My name is Josh Friday, Chief Service Officer for the state of California. And at California Volunteers, we like to think we embody and evangelize the spirit and leadership of Director Ghilarducci, that we are, in fact, one team in one fight. And we know that the heroic work to protect our community from wildfire involves local agencies, state agencies, a variety of incredible organizations, and of course the constant dedication of our Fire Safe Councils. But it also takes every Californian. And the work of California Volunteers Office of the Governor is to try to empower every Californian to be part of this effort, to engage in service, volunteerism, and civic action to protect our communities from wildfires. Our vision is that every Californian is part of this effort, that every Californian can serve, can volunteer, and has the education and resources to know how to take action to protect themselves and their homes and their community. And we've been able to launch programs like Californians for All to ask everyone to be part of the COVID effort. We've been able to launch the Climate Action Corps to ask everyone to be part of the climate crisis effort. And this is because of Governor Newsom's and Director Ghilarducci's commitment to empowering everyone in every community. And the truth is, and we've learned this in part from COVID, that we need our neighbors and we need each other to get through our different struggles and our different challenges. And it's no different with wildfire protection. So I'm so grateful and thankful to the Fire Safe Councils who have partnered with the Climate Action Corps to have our fellows in places around the state empowering communities. Thank you to Heidi and Kate and everyone else in their dedicated service at the Fire Safe Councils. Thank you to Karen Baker for your leadership at Listos, which is always indefatigable, if I can say that word, and inspiring. Jessica Morris for helping us launch Climate Corps in the first place. The Triple C's for being everywhere and anywhere when you are called. And this, of course, the steadfast leadership of Director Ghilarducci for bringing us and our state together. So we are one team, one fight, and we're proud to stand here with you all today for this exciting day. Y ahora quisiera decir algo en español. Si tienes una hora para ayudar a tus vecinos a prepararse para un incendio, o si puedes hacer un año completo de servicio para ayudar a tu comunidad. Hay formas de participar. Necesitamos la ayuda de todos. Y California te necesita. Gracias. And now I have the honor and pleasure of introducing Jessica Morris, who's the architect and co-chair of Listos California Emergency Preparedness Campaign. Jessica.
Thank you so much, Josh, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm Jessica Morse. I'm Deputy Secretary for Forest and Wildfire Resilience at the California Natural Resources Agency. And it's important to understand that we are in an unprecedented crisis. California's ecology is adapted to wildfire, but it's not adapted to these catastrophic mega fires that we are seeing. We had 5 of the 6 largest fires in state history burn simultaneously last summer. And when these fires were burning, we were seeing the result of multi-generational policy decisions and crises colliding. This was the result of clear cutting. That was Gold Rush era clear cutting. This is the result of a 1910 policy from the Forest Service to eliminate fire from the landscape, that fire suppression policy. And it's the result of those policies now colliding with climate change, with hotter, drier, longer fire seasons that we're now facing. An unprecedented crisis requires an unprecedented response. The governor's proposed $1 billion in fire resilience activities, truly scaling up our efforts to be able to meet this crisis head on, to have an impact for the future generations to come, as well as safety now. That $1 billion, 536 million of it was released early in an emergency appropriation by the state legislature so that we could get to work now, because the fire crisis doesn't fit neatly into the budget cycle. And so we are so grateful for the partnerships and leadership to come together and meet this crisis head on. We are doing an unprecedented scale of investment across all 3 fronts of fire resilience. We invest in interventions inside of communities, like you see today, home hardening, defensible space, community education, so that in the worst case scenario, a fire comes through, that community can stand and the community can recover. The next area that we invest in simultaneously are interventions around communities. So these are strategic fuel breaks, evacuation routes, so that firefighters can take a stand, we can reduce the impact of that fire and hold the line. We had our National Guard crews on those last summer and are working with CAL FIRE and the Conservation Corps to increase these fuel breaks in communities throughout the state. The last area is really across the landscape. We invest in landscape scale restoration and recovery to reduce the fuel load and reduce the intensity of fire on that landscape. This $1 billion investment marks a dramatic increase in resilience. Last year, our resilience budget was around $75 million. So we will see throughout California a dramatic increase across all 3 of these fronts. And we are grounding them in regional collaborative approaches, because there is no one-size-fits-all to wildfire resilience in the state. Whether you're in Sacramento Valley areas and rolling oak woodlands, high Sierra alpine communities, or chaparral ecosystems down in Southern California, you're going to need a different ratio of that community, around community, and across the landscape investments to achieve real resilience. And so we're grounding these in regional collaboratives. And the investment that we see here today in partnering with CAL FIRE, Fire Marshal's Office, California Climate Corps, the California Fire Safe Councils, Listos California, and the California Fire Safe Council, this really helps us deliver long-term lasting results for home hardening and outreach. We are investing in increasing education and community understanding and direct support for defensible space like you see today. We are also in this new budget proposing a $25 million state investment, which would be matched 3-to-1 by our FEMA partners, and which would give us a $100 million pilot to do direct home hardening interventions for lower income Californians. These investments across all 3 fronts of fire resilience will help California meet this multi-generational crisis head on in a way that protects communities today and for future generations to come. I'd now like to introduce Karen Baker, who is the Senior Advisor for the Governor's Office of Emergency Services and has been spearheading the education, outreach, and community understanding you see through Listos, California. Thank you, Karen.
Hi, good morning. First of all, let me begin by just congratulating the California Fire Safe Council for this amazing trailer that you see beside me. This trailer was made possible because our governor and the legislature believed in investing in the power of everyday volunteers, wonderful Fire Safe Council members in over 250 councils throughout the state to be able to utilize equipment in these trailers to help make home hardening happen. This is how we're going to get more people safe and ready for fire season. And it's because of their great work. They've also done an additional outreach. They'll be reaching an additional 100,000 people that with just education materials as they go out and reach their community. This will help reach our number. We're already at 3.8 million diverse and vulnerable Californians that have been educated through Listos, California, which is Spanish for Ready California. This effort has been absolute game-changing in the preparedness world. We're so thrilled that the California Fire Safe Council is a part of it. They've been incredibly impactful partners. We're very proud of them. And with that, I will turn it over to the wonderful representative from CAL FIRE, Daniel Berlant, who will speak next. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. As Karen mentioned, my name is Daniel Berlant, Assistant Deputy Director with CAL FIRE, overseeing many of our fire prevention programs. It's no coincidence that we are here today during Wildfire Preparedness Week. While the last several months we have seen increased fire activity much earlier than normal for this time of year, we are ready. CAL FIRE has more firefighters. We have equipment, new helicopters, new air tankers that are being prepped for future fire seasons. And our firefighters have been busy doing fuel reduction work, fuel breaks around communities, prescribed burning, defensible space inspections. Over the last several months, we have really increased our pace and scale of some of those fire prevention activities. But like I mentioned, we're already into fire season. Interestingly enough, May kicks off with Wildfire Preparedness Week, and the Sacramento region hits red flag warning conditions. Strong north winds that dry out our conditions even faster. Unfortunately, the Weather Service is predicting another dry weekend, a potential another fire weather watch and red flag warnings for this weekend. So these are examples over and over of the critical nature that Californians must be ready. As I mentioned, we're ready, but we need everybody to be ready. And what that means is for homeowners to protect their property. Jessica mentioned our home hardening program that's being worked on to retrofit homes, but there are low-cost items that homeowners can do today without a contractor, without very much money, in fact, in some cases, for free, that can significantly increase the chance of a home surviving a wildfire. Home hardening is a critical component matched up with defensible space. We've been talking about defensible space here in California for decades, and what that means is clearing dead vegetation, grass, brush, branches that have died, leaves that have accumulated on the roof or around the home. We've got to see that dead vegetation removed 100 feet from a home. In the fires that we've experienced in just the last 5 years, 47,000 buildings have been destroyed. Those are 47,000 examples of how dangerous these wildfires are. And it all starts with making sure that a home has good defensible space and that is hardened against wildfires. All of this information available on our website, readyforwildfire.org. All of a list of home hardening. This is somewhat of a new topic and conversation for Californians, but it's not new in California. In fact, California has led the way in some of the most stringent wildland building codes in the nation. Now, in 2008, we started to require all homes built in California to be built to this higher standard. I have to acknowledge Kate Dargan, former state fire marshal, co-chair of the California Fire Safe Council, one of the leading individuals in our state who led the effort to start hardening homes for new construction. So in the last 10 years, we've ensured that homes are built with ember-resistant materials. Materials, products, and even building techniques that withstand embers. In many cases, these homes that are being destroyed aren't being destroyed because the fire burns up to them and destroys everything in its path. It's the embers that carry by the wind, sometimes a mile ahead of the fire, land on the home, find weak points in the construction, and the home burns down. There's not enough firefighters to protect every single home, but if we can harden our homes, if we can ensure they have good defensible space, the goal is our firefighters can go out and actually fight the fire and not have to worry about putting out every single spot fire that occurs in a residential area. However, I do not want to downplay the critical nature that we focus on in ensuring that communities are ready. We do that not only in the projects that I mentioned, the fuel reduction efforts, the prescribed burning, the defensible space inspections, the department and our partners like local fire safe councils, local fire departments are doing every single day. But happy to announce that in the early action that the legislature passed that Jessica Morris mentioned, there's over $120 million available for local cities, local counties, fire safe councils, nonprofit groups to fund fire prevention activities. Those applications for those projects are being accepted right now through May 19th. So we're hoping that we'll be able to see a significant injection of funding at the local level for these fire prevention activities. Circling back to this year's fire season real quick, today it's already hot. You might be sweating like I am already. Conditions are just continuing to dry. We're lucky there's not a significant wind, but like I mentioned, we are going to see wind. Drier conditions, a drier than average winter. The fact that we're in a second year of a drought in many areas, reduced snowpack, increased temperatures, increased number of days of fire season, all of this combination has the potential to make 2021 another record-setting year. But if we can be ready now, if we can do our part to prevent these fires, we can start changing the records that we are breaking. So thank you very much for focusing this. And again, thank you to the Fire Safe Council. They are critical partners, not only the State Fire Safe Council, but the hundreds of local fire safe councils, local Firewise communities, grassroots efforts that are occurring to help support fire departments across the state do our job of keeping the public safe. So it's now my pleasure to introduce Lunar Martin, the Executive Director of the California Fire Safe Council. Actually, I'm sorry, I read the wrong line here. I had one task after I spoke here. So I'll welcome, Lunar Martin from the California Conservation Corps, who's a critical partner. CCC, just since I butchered that, is a very important partner on the fire line and in the fire prevention world. So Lunar, I'll turn it to you.
How are you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning, everybody. I have the great pleasure, which is always a great pleasure for me, to actually come out physically, which is fantastic. First time I've tucked in a shirt in over a year, so that's great. To come out physically today, be a part of this event, and to really just talk up Corps members and the CCC and what we do and how excited we are to have been given the opportunity to partner with the Fire Safe Council and to build these trailers that you see here today, and that we'll be happy to show you after we're done. Got Corps members off to the side ready to give you tours and the whole thing. So if you don't know, the CCC has a very long history of supporting wildfires throughout the state. We have Corps members who do frontline fire work alongside CAL FIRE and U.S. Forest Service. We have my crews have gone out last summer. I sent crews out pretty much nonstop to provide fire camp support. I think last year alone, I had some Corps members who worked 21 days straight, got to come back for a night, and then were called to go work another 20 days straight. And I think I had one crew that did that 4 or 5 times in a row throughout the entire fire center. Imagine your own self sitting at home and you get basically a text message or a call that says, we're leaving in 5 hours, get to the center, you may be gone for 20 days. See some nods from my Corps members off to the side, because that's the life that they live. It's the life that our 1,500 Corps members across the state of California live every single fire season, and that's been the case for the last 2 years, and then obviously many years prior, but it has been even more of a strain on our resources the last 2 years. So when I got the call from the Fire Safe Council to see if we can, the Zoom call, of course, to see if we could help out with building these trailers, I didn't really introduce myself. I'm Lunar Martin. I'm the district director of the Northern Energy District. So we specialize in energy conservation work, doing retrofits, doing surveys and energy audits. So when they said, hey, can you build a fire trailer? Of course, I said yes because we're the CCC, and that's the first answer we give is yes, of course we can. We do a lot of work and do a lot of training when it comes to the energy audits. So we do a lot of measuring, a lot of work inside of small spaces. So I knew that there was a base of a job that my core members could meet. And then also, the CCC, 40 plus years of experience working wildfires. So I was able to reach out to my partners at the Butte Fire Center in Paradise, my partners in Camarillo Fire Center, to really ask, okay, what does this need to look like? What do we need to do? A lot of resources that I was able to pull within the CCC that I was happy to do. And we all came together. But the real moment that was like really exciting for me was when the trailer was parked in our warehouse, and I go out there and my core members have a bunch of pieces of paper on the ground and they're mapping out all what the idea. I mean, there's not a single thing in here that wasn't designed by a core member based on a need that was displayed to us. So really, when you get an opportunity to take a look, really keep that in mind. My core members will be happy to answer any questions. Everyone you see here will be building trailers in the future. We have more trailers to build. We're very excited to do it. We're very excited about the partnership with the Fire Safe Council. And we're excited to get to work, as we always are. So thank you very much. And I'd like to introduce Hedy Jalan.
Oh, sorry. Just banged my head. I'm going to use some note cards. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm the Executive Director of the California Fire Safe Council. Thank you to all our distinguished speakers and partners here with us today during Wildfire Awareness Week. We've heard powerful messages and been provided meaningful insight about the urgency behind the wildfire issue here in California. And it's clear that every Californian must do their part to prepare for what some are calling this 2021 fire season Armageddon. This week's early red flag warning, as you've heard, as we are in the middle of Wildfire Preparedness Week, is a sign of what lies ahead. You've heard about the conditions that are ripe for catastrophic destruction. You've heard about climate change. You've heard about the long-term historic drought we're in, that causes dry vegetation, soils, hotter, drier conditions, above normal temperatures. And as Executive Director of the California Fire Safe Council, I know the importance of working hand in hand with our partners to provide resources, funding, and leadership on the ground to curtail the devastation wildfires leave in their wake. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of all Californians, and we're all affected by the effects of wildfires in one way or another now. Whether we need to evacuate, whether we need to get a gas mask because the smoke is so thick, whether we need to wonder what the smoke is doing in terms of the long-term impact to our health. At the California Fire Safe Council, we're a nonprofit organization. We've been around since 2004. We've provided grants totaling more than $100 million to organizations and agencies in California for wildfire prevention, mitigation, and community resiliency efforts. As the wildfire problem evolves, so do we. Last year, as you've heard, we saw one of the worst fire seasons on record. And we cannot afford to keep doing, what the status quo has been. So being able to work with California volunteers and Listos, California is an absolute honor, and we're proud to facilitate this very, very exceptional and unique program that you've heard about a little bit today. This Trailers and Outreach program that we're unveiling today allows us to provide these custom trailers that you see right here and outreach toolkits to communities targeting vulnerable populations with wildfire mitigation activities. The program impacts at-risk residents through education and on-the-ground projects like fuel reduction programs such as community chipper programs, fuel breaks, roadside and defensible space projects. The program also utilizes educational tools to spread the Live Fire Safe message and inspire and engage communities. We encourage communities to get prepared now with fire-adapted communities because wildfire is inevitable. This is the first time that the California Fire Safe Council has partnered on a program like this, and we did so immediately. We got involved because We know that when communities mobilize, they improve the risk factor, but many don't have the tools and resources they need, and now with this program, they will. We are excited to share that we are awarding 54 organizations in California to serve their communities through the Trailers and Outreach program. That's serving over 2 million constituents, which will be reached. This program and the times we live in remind us that if we all do our part and get involved, then we will be better prepared when facing wildfires. Shoulder to shoulder, neighbor to neighbor, community to community, our goal is to inspire, mobilize, and empower Californians. All Californians can get involved and sign up to learn how to get prepared for natural disasters by texting Listos, CA, that's all one word, to 72345. That's Listos, CA, all one word, to 72345, or visit listoscalifornia.org. You will receive a text daily for 7 days to learn how to protect yourself and your family. You'll learn how to create a wildfire action plan, sign up for alerts. The information is also up here on the trailer. You can watch the progress of this unique program by following us on Twitter at CA FireSafe and Facebook, or visit us at cafiresafecouncil.org. You can also stay tuned for live program update announcements October 5th during our annual Resilience Brilliance event, where we will highlight the wonderful work of our partners. Thank you again, Mark, Jessica, Josh, Karen, Daniel, Lunar, for being here. Thank you for everyone at California Volunteers, Listos California, California Conservation Corps, the California Natural Resources Agency, CAL FIRE, and Cal OES, and all our partners working to keep California fire safe. Thank you once again to Cal OES for allowing us to be here today. Now, for something very exciting, if Karen, Josh, and speakers want to come up, we're going to actually cut a ribbon, actual ribbon cutting ceremony. I have the scissors right here. If I don't have the ribbon, I'll just pretend the ribbon's here. And why don't we just cut the invisible ribbon? Or there it is. Okay.
Got this.
Okay.